Hi there. This is a short video, and this is something that you know, I just wonder if it's a possibility. So that's why I'm creating this video. Now, the question is, could Jared Kushner be the Antichrist? Now, I want to start by putting Kushner in Hebrew in a Google search, and this is what we received back. The surname Kushner is an English-based transliteration of the Yiddish name. I can't pronounce that. A variant of, again, I can't pronounce that, but it's Kushner with a I, an occupational name stemming from the Ukrainian word. Again, I can't pronounce that, but it's Kush. Again, the same word, Kushner with an I, meaning furrier. So, maybe not a big deal, but for a possible Antichrist to have an occupation linked to their name, being a furrier, I think is quite appropriate because they're skinning beasts. Okay, so, but that's not really what I want to draw your attention to. If you take a look at these variants of Kushner in Hebrew, next slide will show you. It's actually right here. Now, if you take Kushner in Hebrew, if you each Hebrew letter has a number value, so then you can see it here. Now, in Hebrew, if you add up all the total letter values, it equals 666. So that's quite interesting. So I'm going to continue. Now, also, his full and possible alternative names could be Jared, and then Irad, and then Corey, that's his middle name, Kushner, and then, as I showed you earlier, Kushner with an I. Now, I'm going to continue with, I just want to draw your attention to Kushner Companies. If you take a look at the headquarters, it's in New York City, and it's at 666 5th Avenue, New York City. So that's quite interesting to have a number like that. Now, before I talked about the possible alternatives to his name. Now, if you take a look at the Bible, this is quite interesting. Irad, if you look at Irad, is a name in Hebrew in the book of Genesis. The grandson of Cain is Irad, and here you'll see on this side of Adam and Eve's family tree, you've got Cain. This is not the priestly side. And then the priestly side is over here. So if you take a look at Enoch, he had Irad, okay? Now, if you take a look at the priestly side, Jared had Enoch, okay? So, and like I said, if we recall that Jared was the father of the godly Enoch, but Irad was the son of the ungodly Enoch. Irad is the evil counterpart of Jared. And here's a verse here. And unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begot Mehujael. I'll just let you finish the rest if you like, but that's Genesis 4:18. Now, if you take a look in the news, Jared Kushner held historic Middle East peace deals, makes you realize that anything is possible. And this is a watershed moment in the region, they're saying. Okay, that's impressive to sounds, doesn't it? Okay, here's a picture of Jared Kushner with Pope Francis, and I just want to take a moment to talk about Pope Francis. Now, could Pope Francis be the false prophet? I would say he's a very good candidate for a very high possibility. In one of my Bible code tables, I have a few of them, but just a few points from one. The Pope is of the beast, and he has a wicked heart. So I think that's very revealing. Here's a picture of them too. This could be the Antichrist and the false prophet. Now, I want to read this verse to you. In his estate shall stand up a vile person, to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. That's Daniel 11:21. What is quite interesting about it, Jared Kushner, as far as I know, we didn't hear about him coming onto the scenes until 2017 or 2016, 2017, when Donald Trump got elected, or before he got elected, in that time range. So he's always been behind the scenes of Donald Trump's administration. So you kind of look at this verse, and you almost wonder. It kind of makes you wonder. Here's an interesting shot of Jared Kushner. Now, this picture here, it looks like Jared is a king, possibly even like a Caesar. This is actually an oil painting in Jared Kushner's living or dining room. I can't remember, but it supposedly was up on his wall. So that's quite interesting. Now, and if you take a look at the bottom, you have a Kushner as spelled in Russian Ukrainian. That's actually, I guess they have coins there. It equals 666. And some of this information is compliments of Dean Combs. Actually got some of these pictures from his website. He's done a lot of research, biblical eschatology and Bible code research, as well as me. Now, if you take a look here, this is actually Antichrist Epiphanes. Sorry if I did not pronounce that correct. But, the question is Jared Kushner possibly going to be like Antichrist Epiphanes? Now, I created this table. I believe it's accurate, but I could be wrong. But based after many hours of research and also Bible code research, this is what I come up with. Now, as you know, that's Barack Obama to the left. I believe he's the king of the South. Okay, now he's like a Pharaoh, Antichrist type figure, and I believe he's like the first and the fourth beast in Daniel, because he said, "I will be back." And I think that's true. I think he will be back shortly. Now, his days will be short, and on the scene with both the false prophet, the Pope, and his counterpart in the north. That's what I believe. Okay. Again, do your own research, and I just wanted to get this information and out to you, and there might be a different perspective. A lot of people think that there's, based on their Bible study, that there's just one final Antichrist. He comes on the scene right after the rapture. That could be correct, but I'm just throwing this out here. But anyway, I'll continue. Now, Donald Trump, he is like Cyrus, a heathen king. I believe the Lord used him as a rod against Babylon. That's the USA. Some good changes he did, and some not so good. Unfortunately, he surrounded himself around with a lot of Jesuit influence. That's Popish or Roman influence. He said something that I think is very prophetic. He said, "The calm before the storm." He had a whole bunch of leaders. I think his staff was in a room, military leaders too, I believe, and that's what he said. That is in reference to, I believe, the labor pains. I believe that's what we're in. I mean, I think we're right at the end of the labor pains, meaning the time before the tribulation period. Also, the king at the last trump, just before the rapture. This is what I believe. The king of the north, as we started with, Jared or Irad, possibly Kushner, could be like Antiochus Epiphanes, Caesar, Nero, and Hitler all in one. Also the fourth beast in Daniel, the final Antichrist. I believe that he's the Antichrist figure, that when Jesus comes on the scene and defeats him, would just by speak it, he'd speak it, and the brightness of his coming will destroy him. I believe he will be on the scene both with the false prophet, the Pope, and his counterpart in the south. He will overcome the king of the south and will turn on the whore, that's the Roman Catholic Church, and burn her. This period of time will have been the worst Holocaust ever. He will persecute the Jews, the Christians, and anybody. If you do research on Antiochus Epiphanes, I think I finally said it right. I think it'll be like him. Going Antiochus Epiphanes, he actually put a pig in the altar in the temple and sacrificed, and just abominable acts, just a ruthless, just wicked man. And the Antichrist is supposed to go in the temple and claim he's God and set up an image. So I think it's possible. Again, this is what I think it's a possibility. So I hope this helps. I want everybody to be informed at this end time. I know we should be looking for Jesus Christ and not the Antichrist, but I'm for those that are left behind. There is a future for them, and I want them to be informed. I want them to come to Jesus Christ. Now, I recommend that you get into the ark now before it is sealed. There is only one door to the ark. That is Jesus Christ. So this is a promise from our Lord. It says that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and shalt believe in thine heart that God hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. That's Romans 10:9. Please like and share to all your family and friends, and may the Lord keep you and bless you.
Coding, I'm not going to be here long, but they're very powerful, so I'm going to start slowly and I'll build up to the climax. These two codes are a collaboration between myself and the code searchers, Brother John and his student, Brother Scott. We found some of this coding here. Very small, but very powerful. The access term in this code it's in the book of Micah, but it's at an ELS of 102 characters across. Cyrus is in here, Kaf Wav Resh Shin. Now the word Cyrus is attached to the word Kushner, Kuf Wav Shin Nun Resh. And along that same line, you're going to have the year He Tau Shin Ayin Tet. That's 5779. Right down below, you're going to have Bet Yod Tau Wav, that's house of him. Then right down below here, you're going to see this first word is from Micah chapter 7 verse 1. The very first word is woe is me. Woe is me, Lamed Aleph Memresh Kuf Hey. Woe's me to America. That's what that spelling is, to America, crossing Cyrus. And Cyrus is standing on Bet Yod Tau Wav, the same as this here, house of him. And that is from Micah chapter 7 verse 6. For the son dishonoreth the father, the daughter riseth up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's enemies are the men of his own house. And you have Cyrus attached to Kushner right there. It's no big secret that Jared Kushner was having problems getting security clearance at the White House because of his previous business ventures as a European with Russia. And it's also a well-known fact now that he's also in bed with George Soros. And it's no secret that Jared Kushner was also at the Warsaw Conference talking about this peace deal that they're trying to hammer out between Palestine, Israel, and the United States of America. Jared Kushner is a key person in this Middle Eastern peace process, and if that's the case, his name should show up right where we should see it about talking about this peace deal, this covenant. Ladies and gentlemen, as a matter of fact, that is exactly what we are seeing in Daniel chapter 11 verse 22. We are seeing Kushner's name sitting right next to the Prince of the Covenant. Kaf, Wav, Shin, Nun, Resh. But over top of Kushner, running backwards, you have Mem, Pe, Tau, Het. That's key. The Kushner key and the Prince of the Covenant. And look who's crossing over top. The Pope. This word here, this is a word that Brother Scott found just recently. Mem, Kaf, Tau, that means he shall smite. Bet, Lama, that's Babylon. He shall smite Babylon.